I grabbed the headboard so hard my knuckles went white. And it wasn't because of how hard he was trying. It was because of one tiny thing he did 2 seconds before that completely rewired my entire body. I'm a woman. And what I'm about to share with you? We only talk about this behind closed doors, in low voices, over wine with our closest girlfriends. But today, I'm putting it all on the table. 5 positions women will genuinely crave in 2026, and 2 that silently destroy everything you've built with her, no matter how good the night was going. And position number 1? Women literally call it the ending, because after experiencing it, she stopped comparing you to every man who came before. Plus, I'm going to expose the one position most men are absolutely convinced she loves that actually makes her want to fake it, roll over, and mentally check out. Here's what every man needs to understand before we get into this. Her deepest response has almost nothing to do with the position itself. It's about what she feels inside of it. And that gap right there, that's where most men lose her completely without ever realizing it happened. Number 5, the angle shift. And before you scroll away thinking you already know this one, hear me out. Because most men are literally one tiny adjustment away from a completely different experience, and they have absolutely no idea. This isn't some exotic new position. It's a micro adjustment to something you already do. A pillow, a slight shift of her hips. That's it. I know that sounds too simple to matter. Stay with me. When the angle changes, the pressure changes. And when that pressure lands in the right place, she doesn't choose to respond. Her body just does. Automatically, involuntarily, without warning. This is literally what women mean when we whisper to each other, "Girl, he found it." And 9 times out of 10, it wasn't skill, it wasn't experience, it was geometry. From your side, it looks like nothing changed. From her side, everything shifted. Okay, and I'm a little embarrassed to admit this because it was such a small, almost nothing moment. He slid a pillow under my hips mid-moment. Didn't announce it. Didn't pause for permission, didn't make it a whole thing. He just adjusted me like he already knew exactly what he was doing, and my back arched before my brain could even catch up. My hand found his chest, not pushing away, pulling him closer. And I made a sound that genuinely surprised both of us. What gets me, even now, is that I've been with men who work 10 times harder. I don't think about a single one of them. That 1-2-second adjustment? I think about it randomly on a Tuesday afternoon driving to work. Still. And here's the part nobody talks about. Most men use the same flat angle every single time and then just compensate by working harder. He's putting in more effort, she's feeling less, and neither of them understands why. So here's what you do. Place a pillow under her hips, let the angle do the heavy lifting, and give her body something to actually respond to. Less effort, more of everything she actually craves. She'll know the difference within the first 10 seconds. And if you're remembering a specific night where she went unusually quiet and you didn't understand why, this might be exactly why. She wasn't going to tell you, so I just did. And actually, this connects to a story I wasn't planning to tell today. Something a man did that was so small it shouldn't have mattered, and it was the actual reason I made this entire video. I'll tell you that story when we hit number 2. It doesn't fully land until then. Just keep it in the back of your mind. Because once you understand why the angle shift creates that kind of response, the next position makes complete sense, because it uses the same principle, but adds the one thing her nervous system craves even more than physical sensation. Her own eyes. Number 4, the eye trap. I've never told anyone this specific moment, not my best friend, not my sister, because admitting it means admitting how completely and totally I lost myself. He shifted us so we were face to face, close enough that I could feel the warmth coming off his skin. And then he didn't close his eyes. He just looked at me. Not performing some intense masculine stare. Not trying to be cinematic about it, just looked. And I, a woman who argues professionally, who holds eye contact with people trying to intimidate me in boardrooms, I could not hold his gaze. Heat crawled up my throat and hit my face. My eyes kept closing because being seen like that fully, that directly, in that moment, it felt like standing under a spotlight with nowhere to run. The next morning, I tried explaining it to my best friend, and the only word I could find was intense. Not wild, not incredible. Intense. That is the word women use. And now you know exactly what we mean when we say it. The eye trap isn't one specific position, it's a rule. Faces close, eyes open, nowhere for her to disappear to. Most positions give her permission to escape into sensation. This one doesn't give her that exit. And here's what she's not telling you. She doesn't actually want that exit. She wants a man confident enough to take it away from her. He thinks eye contact in that moment is about visual excitement. What she's actually experiencing is emotional exposure. Those are two entirely different universes. Most men default to positions where they can't see her face, or she can bury hers. Instead, choose closeness. Hold her gaze. Don't narrate it. Don't make a performance out of it. Just look at her like she is the only thing in the room. She will describe you to her friends the next day using words she has never used about any man before. That man could be you. That man should be you. And if those first two positions just hit differently, go ahead and subscribe right now, because what I'm about to tell you about position number 1, I almost cut it from this video entirely. A man used it on me once, and I genuinely have not fully recovered. Keep watching. Number 3. The behind hold. This one makes me genuinely angry because it is so easy to get right and almost no man does. And I already know what some of you are thinking after that last one. That sounds too simple, too emotional, not physical enough. I thought the exact same thing. And then a man actually did it, and I couldn't form a complete sentence for half a minute straight. Simple and easy are not the same thing, but this one isn't about simple. This is the position men get wrong the absolute most. She can't see your face in this one. So her entire nervous system is reading your hands, your pace, your breath, as the only signals that you are actually present with her. If your hands are absent, her body reads exactly one message. I'm not here for him right now. I'm just here for this. The fix is one single detail. Hand on her hip, hand on her stomach, pulling her back into you. That one detail is the entire difference between connected and completely disconnected. This position has the single largest gap between what he thinks is happening and what she is actually experiencing. When women talk about this position with their girlfriends, and trust me, we talk about everything, the word that comes up is not bad, it's lonely. She felt lonely while he was right there. That is what women mean when we say to each other, I could tell he wasn't really thinking about me. What I'm about to say is the most personal thing in this video, and I almost deleted it twice. A man who had done everything right all night. Proximity, eye contact, presence, everything. And then this position. His hands went nowhere. His pace went mechanical, like I had stopped being a person and become a situation he was managing. Something inside me went cold. Not angry, not hurt, just gone, like a switch flipped off. He spent the next 20 minutes completely convinced everything was incredible. It wasn't. I was already mentally planning my exit. If someone had shown him just this one thing, just this, we might have had an entirely different story. And if you're thinking about a specific night where she went quiet on you and you couldn't figure out why, now you know. And it never has to happen again. Number 2, the side surrender. Most people click away right around here. They're about to miss the one position women are genuinely embarrassed to admit works deeper than anything else. And here's something that's going to sound like it contradicts everything I've said so far. Her nervous system doesn't respond deepest to intensity. It responds to slowness, unhurried, zero performance, nowhere to be closeness. I know that goes against everything you've been told. Keep watching, because this is the one she replays at 2 in the morning when she can't sleep. Remember the story I said I'd tell you? Here it is. I recorded this video twice and deleted this part both times. I'm including it now because I think you deserve to actually hear it. We were on our sides facing each other, so close I was literally breathing his air. His hand rested on my hip. Everything was slow. No performance. No proving anything. Just the two of us existing in the same space at the same time. And I heard myself whisper something that came out before I could stop it. My own voice surprised me. I'm not going to tell you what I said, but I will tell you this. I had never said it before in my life, and I have never said it since. That wasn't the most exciting night I have ever had. But it is the one that still lives inside me. 7 months later, I can still feel exactly where his hand was. That's what this position does. Both on your sides, facing each other. Nobody on top, no performance angle. Equal, close, breathing the same air. This is the position women are describing when they say it felt like making love. That phrase has a specific position attached to it. This is it. He looks at it and thinks it looks lazy. What she feels is the most profound intimacy of her entire life. Those two experiences aren't even in the same zip code. Most men never try this because from the outside it looks like nothing is happening. Here's what you do. After any intensity, shift to your sides, face her, slow everything down by half, and let closeness do the work. She has been waiting for you to do this, not because she's running some test, because she literally cannot ask for it. She doesn't have the language for it. She only knows the feeling when it's missing. And when you give it to her, her whole body will soften in a way that nothing else produces. That softening is the highest compliment she will ever give you without using a single word. Number 1, the weight drop. I promised you this one would be worth staying for, him on top. But not the way you're imagining right now. Instead of holding himself up on locked arms, maintaining that performance distance, he lets his full weight slowly settle onto her. Not crashing down. Settling. Like he was exhaling his entire body onto hers and letting his chest press fully against her chest. What I'm about to describe is not a position. It is a surrender. His surrender. And that is precisely why it breaks her open. Every other position creates desire through movement. This one creates it through the complete and total absence of effort. When a man stops holding himself up and just lets go, something deep inside her lets go too. Something she didn't even know she was holding on to. The voice in her head that's always running, always calculating, always asking, is he real? Can I actually trust this? It goes completely quiet. He thinks holding himself up is considerate, respectful, showing restraint. What she is actually feeling is distance. Most women spend their whole lives getting one or the other. Either they feel safe or they feel wanted. Never simultaneously. The weight drop is the only place she gets both at the exact same time. I was not going to tell you this story. It feels too exposed. But without it, everything else I said today is just useful information. This is the part that makes it real. After an entire evening where everything had been right, he let his weight down slowly, like he was exhaling his whole body onto mine, and I felt the full length of him against the full length of me. And something in my chest cracked open. Not desire. Deeper than desire. That voice in my head that is always running, always second-guessing, always asking, but is he really? It went silent. For the first time in longer than I want to admit, I wasn't in the process of deciding anymore. I had already decided. My eyes filled up without any warning, and I looked away because I did not want him to see what his weight alone had done to me. But my body had already answered a question my mind had been circling for weeks. That moment made every single thing before it permanent. Without the weight drop, the angle shift, the eye contact, the slowness, they're all good sensation. Real sensation, but temporary. The weight drop is the lock that takes everything before it and makes it hers forever. Something she carries, something she literally cannot give back. Here's what to do. When the moment feels right, stop performing. Let your arms relax. Let your weight settle. Let your chest press against hers. Breathe. Don't move. Let 5 full seconds exist with zero effort. That weight communicates more than any movement, any position, any technique ever could. This is why women call it the ending, not because it finishes things, because after it, she stops looking. Now the two that silently destroy everything. Flip number 1, the jackhammer lie. Every woman watching just nodded before I even finished saying it. My body went completely numb about 2 minutes in, not from pain, from boredom disguised as effort. And I hate admitting this, but I performed. I performed so convincingly so that he would believe it was working, because correcting him in that moment felt crueler than just lying. That is how widespread this is. She will protect the lie before she will correct the man. He finished that night genuinely believing he had just given me the best experience of his life. And I let him walk away believing that. That is how deep the jackhammer lie runs. The myth that more speed and more force automatically equals more pleasure is the single biggest thing ruining intimate experiences right now, and nobody is correcting it. Her nervous system literally tunes out constant, unchanging stimulation the same way you stop hearing background noise after 60 seconds. Variation is what her body actually responds to. When women describe disappointing experiences to each other, this is the number one thing we bring up. And we describe it with exactly one word: exhausting. Vary your rhythm. Build and then retreat. Let intensity breathe before you bring it back. Speed up and then deliberately slow down. Give her body something to anticipate instead of something to endure. The man she cannot stop thinking about is not the man who worked the hardest. He's the man who paid the most attention. Flip number 2, the pretzel disaster. Men believe complicated positions look impressive. They don't. They look like he watched something online and decided to recreate it with an actual human being who has real joints and real knees that bend in exactly one direction. A man once tried to maneuver me into something that I think was supposed to feel exotic and adventurous. I wasn't feeling desire. I was doing spatial geometry in my head. My knee was at an angle that knees genuinely do not enjoy. My brain was so fully occupied figuring out where my leg was supposed to go that pleasure had completely left the building. I remember thinking very clearly, this is for him. This is not for me. And the moment she thinks that exact thought, you have already lost her completely. Any position where he is more focused on how it looks than on how she actually feels is a losing position. If she is thinking about her body's position instead of how her body feels, it is over. Her brain cannot simultaneously process pleasure and process logistics. Comfort is the prerequisite for surrender. This is exactly what women mean when we tell our friends he was trying too hard. Now you know precisely what that looks like. If you only remember 2 combinations from this entire video, remember these. The angle shift directly into the eye trap. Sensation plus emotional exposure. Her body has zero defense against those 2 working together. And second, any escalation leading into the side surrender. Build real intensity, then slow everything completely down. That contrast is what she is describing when she tells her friends, he made me feel something I have genuinely never felt before. Now you know the mechanics behind those words. If my closest guy friend asked me tonight how to become the man she cannot stop thinking about, I would tell him 4 things. Adjust the angle first. Choose closeness where she can see your eyes. When things build, slow down instead of speeding up. And when the moment is right, let your weight settle and stop performing. 4 moves. A lifetime of difference. Every position on this list. I didn't learn them from falling in love. I learned them by noticing what was missing with every man who came before. Every man who rushed, every man who performed, every man who never once just slowed down long enough to actually feel me. That is what this list really is. It isn't positions. It's proof that you're paying attention. Proof that you see her as someone worth being fully present for, not a problem to efficiently solve. And I promise you, she is absolutely desperate for a man who finally does. Subscribe because I go deeper on this every single week, and the men who apply what I teach here become genuinely unforgettable. You're not learning tricks. You're finally learning her language. Stop performing positions and start actually feeling what she's experiencing inside of them. That is the difference between a man she enjoyed and a man she will never fully recover from. You are the second one now. Drop in the comments which position hit hardest or which one stung because you've been doing the opposite. No judgment, now you know. And she is absolutely going to notice the difference.